First tonight, a terminally ill woman suffered in pain for months, and while she waited for a medical marijuana card, her application got lost on its way to Lansing. That's when she turned to Target 8 investigators for help, and we were surprised to find her story is not unusual. Target 8 investigator Henry Erb has this story all new for us tonight.
A few months ago, I was diagnosed with cancer of the lung.
When we talked to her in October, this woman asked us to blur her face and use only her middle name, Jeanette.
They wanted to do chemotherapy, and I chose not to at my age of 84.
She says she didn't want to take the prescribed opioids for pain relief because they could cause her harm due to her breathing problems.
Oh, I'm in pain. Sometimes it's excruciating. So I need something.
She decided that a liquid marijuana product might help, just a drop on her tongue. She went to a business on Burton Southeast in Grand Rapids called Greengate Health. She paid $160 to see a doctor, get her application filled out, and have it sent to Lansing for state approval.
She said it would take 30 days.
That was in late July. A month later, her card hadn't shown up, so she called the state agency that handles medical marijuana. It had no record of her application. She says Greengate told her granddaughter,
that packet of applications for marijuana cards had probably been lost or was sitting someplace in Lansing, and she would resend them in.
That was in August, and when we talked to her in October, she was still waiting, still in pain. We wanted to understand what had happened to her application, but the owner of Greengate Health said she couldn't talk about it because of medical privacy regulations. A spokesman for the state agency that approves medical marijuana cards did respond to our emails. Here are his answers, and surprise, Jeanette wasn't the only one complaining. He says the state gets around 250 calls a month from people across Michigan wondering where their medical marijuana cards are and discover that their application was never sent. He says they often find one of three things has happened. The business they went to for help with the application never sent it in and no longer exists. The business is still around and finally sends it after the consumer complains, or that the business was just slow and waited a month, maybe even 3 months before sending it in. The state says the calls come in waves because one or two places certified a large group of people and then for some reason failed to follow through.
So the best thing people can do is to get your forms, maybe from Lansing, and send them in yourself.
That's what Jeanette eventually did after state officials told us she could send in a copy of the application herself. In fact, state officials prefer people send it in themselves rather than rely on unregulated third-party businesses.
I know I'm getting weaker, and I sure would like something for the pain.
A week or so after our October conversation with Jeanette, she finally got her card. She'd had it for only 10 days or so when she suffered a series of strokes. Her family tells us she died on November 9th. I'm Target 8 investigator Henry Erb.